Hi all, Game Master Concepts, Episode 7, The Minion Pool. Okay, so do you guys remember the 1990 Ninja Turtles movie where the turtles are at April's house and Raph gets upset and he goes up on the roof and he's doing whatever he's doing, blowing off steam. Casey Jones looks over and notices that the Foot Clan ambush Raph and the rest of the Ninja Turtles don't notice. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description below. But what I'm talking about is the minion pool. The idea that not all of your enemies that are present are necessarily on screen. Okay? They could be around the corner, they could be just outside, they could be in the woods outside of the clearing where you're facing the boss ninja character and stuff. Now, if you are utilizing minion characters, these are great. Give each minion 5 hit points, and you track it as a minion pool. This is a health and morale pool. Okay? So, and there's two ways to do it. You can do it checkbox style, so whenever you deal 5 hit points damage, you check a box every 5. Any more than that, and you don't, if it's between 11 and 14, for instance, you only get 2. Once you hit 15 to 19, you hit 3, right? If you're doing checkbox style, like this. Okay. So, oh, look, 5, 10, 15, right? Even if you do more than that. Or you could just write it out numerically where you're like, I have 135 hit points worth of minions. Every 5, 1 will die. And so when you hit for 14 and then somebody else throws a rock and hits the other one, maybe he stumbles over and lands on something sharp or something, right? Give a narrative reason for why such low damage that the player rolled killed this dude, right? Because you want this to feel fast and moving and flowing. The next thing you want to do with a minion pool is, if you're doing it different species, write down their attributes under here that you need to know. Maybe on a separate scratch piece of paper, write down their health. That way you can track it down here behind your Game Master screen. So you can have as many species as you want in this. And if you have similar types, you'll notice the ninjas are fighting with all these different weapons, right? Keep track of those minions. You might have 30 hit points worth of nunchuck users, 135. Why do I keep using 135? Axe wielders. Maybe you have 20 hit points worth of katana users, right? But write that down there because those are different attributes, right? The number of potential damage that they could deal with their weapon, that is an important enough factor that those characters each have their own minion pool. And so whenever you kill a character and they still have enough in their minion pool, if you don't have enough minis, they're coming in from off screen, right? So you just remove a mini, you refill them, right? Reuse those minis if you're using minis. Theater of mind, it's not as complicated. And make sure you have some sort of mid-boss character, like the Ninja Vanish guy, right? Whenever the players try to progress towards this character, have the ninja, the enemy army, fill in, right? Make it almost impossible to reach this guy. And remember, he is strong. He can defend himself. But their job is to accomplish a goal. It's his job to make sure that they're accomplishing their goal. He is a manager. And he needs to manage this situation. That's his job. But by giving the minion health and morale pool a combined effect, if you deal so much damage that would kill two and nobody else would have been hit by this attack, a guy in the background could have ran. And then that's when you have your boss, your minion boss, throw a like ninja star into the back of his skull and he dies and he says something like coward or something, right? And then two new guys jump in there, right? If you have enough in your minion pool from that category, you could even throw in two different from a different category. But just when you're utilizing more than two categories, it's really hard to keep track of. And what do I mean by category? Goblins or kobolds or like ninjas with katanas or ninjas with the throwing stars, right? Try to limit yourself to three or less. And then if you're utilizing three or less, make sure that they have written out what their weapon is and how much damage they do. It's a bit harder when you're utilizing different species. But fast and quick reactions with the minion pool will greatly enhance your ability to have larger scale conflict in the confines of a survival situation. And having like an NPC say something like, oh, there used to be a crawl space out there that leads out the back at the right time is important. So please watch the video in the description below. Kyber, on out.